Purpose of the call. Don't be distracted. The purpose. I mean, don't kid yourself, folks. The primary purpose of a cold call is, do you even know? What is the reason you make a call? What is the only reason you would make a call? To close the deal. Period. That is the only reason. So if you think there is another reason to make a call, guess what? You won't close deals. When I pick that phone up, I know this. I'm closing this deal. I don't care if you give me a lead and tell me, we've called them 17,000 times. They are definitely not a buyer. They're not qualified to buy. They can't buy. Here's the 17,000 reasons they can't buy. By the way, we got them all written down right here for you to see, Grant. I still believe I'm going to make this call because I know the purpose of the call is one thing. My purpose is not to show the product, demonstrate the product, sell the product, talk about the product, be nice to people, follow people up, talk to people, provide customer service. My whole purpose of a cold call is to sell a product, close a deal. Now, we've already talked about the conversion rates on cold calls. So we know that a closed deal on the first call is a minute probable event. Let me tell you something. I don't care how low the probability is. It's 10,000 times lower if you never make the call. You understand what I'm saying? Now, here's a list of secondary purpose. Primary purpose is what? Close the deal. Second, or secondary purposes of this call is to identify decision makers. Who are the decision makers? Who is the guy or gal, the person there that cracks a check? Or maybe they influence a decision but don't write the check. I need to identify influencers. I need to identify the levels of influencers. Who are the key players and influencers? Who are the slight influencers? Who are the conservative? Who are the out-of-the-box guys? Who are the respected influencers? And whose influence matters nothing, right? Because I could have somebody with an opinion in an organization. Let's say I'm calling a group that's got 400 employees. I know there's going to be 4 or 5 people involved. I know for sure there's going to be maybe 4 or 5, maybe 7 influencers. 3 or 4 of those people mean nothing. Nothing. I don't care what they say. They say, I hate you and your product. It doesn't mean anything. In fact, it might help me. How many of you have seen an influencer at a time actually help you because they were against you? Because that might be an indicator to the decision maker, this is the right thing to do. Do you understand what I'm saying? So whether I'm buying a product, I'm trying to buy some real estate right now from a group. There's going to be a bunch of people that have their input, right? Or I'm selling a piece of real estate to that group. I could be making a cold call to buy it from them. I could be making a cold call to sell it to them. I need to know this. Are there other people that can influence it, and what level do they influence at if they're not decision makers, okay? Another reason, a secondary reason, is to determine wants and needs. What do they want? What do they need? Why do they want that? Why do they need it? What have they done in the past that didn't work for them? These are where you're asking really ideal questions. This is where your road to the sale comes in. This is where you got to become a professional, really great at selling and understand what qualifying people is about. How do I create interest? That is another secondary purpose. How do I create interest? I talk about setting hooks and using magic questions. How do I get an appointment? How do I get an appointment that shows? How do I get an appointment that wants to see me now? Like literally, hey Grant, let's don't do this next week. Let's do it right now. How do I do that? That's urgency. See, those are secondary. What's my primary purpose? Do you remember? What is the primary? Because that last one I gave you, create urgent appointments right now, that would seem like, oh my God, man, that's a primary purpose. No. Primary purpose. There is only one primary purpose. Close a deal now on the phone. Okay, not to get an appointment. That would be a secondary, right? Getting contact information for follow-up, text numbers. How can I get a text number? Nobody wants to give me their cell number. Nobody ever denies me a cell number. Why? Because I know how to give people stuff that is text to them through their cell. How do I move a contact from a cold to warm? How do I do that in a call? That's a secondary purpose. How do I expand my pipeline by getting referrals or replacements? See, cold calling is not just an activity to close. That's my primary purpose. A secondary purpose would be what? To prospect. I'm getting you guys sold right now. You're watching this, you're like, man, this cold calling thing's got some freaking meat on it. This thing has got some juice, baby. There's some titanium in this mine. See, you just came for the gold. I'm giving you the real juice here. Cold calling's got so many different levels that you can't ignore it. Just because some guy wrote a book that cold calling is this or that or dead or done or over, or you see some post on Facebook or LinkedIn, never cold call again, okay, doesn't mean that you shouldn't cold call. This is an activity that's got multiple layers, a lot of deep layers to sales. Cold calling is a prospecting activity before actually it is a sales activity. But my primary purpose is what? I want to make a close. I want to sell a product. I want to get my product in their hands, or get an appointment, or set a hook, or build value, or create interest, or replace my pipeline. See, that's what I'm doing. I'm not thinking about one thing or two things any more than I would be my 6 steps when handling an objection, right? I don't think about it 6 steps anymore. Look, I'll tell you the truth. I don't even think about a customer and a salesperson anymore. I think that I'm doing everything. When I'm in a sale, I understand sales so well. Okay, I got to get off my chair to do this. I get so excited. I'm like, I understand selling so well, I don't even think they're involved anymore. I think it's me and them. They're there, but like I'm literally moving them as a buyer. I know their objections. I know my pitch. I know what they're going to say before they say it. Right? You get it? So you need to know cold calling that well, right? Look, there's other goals in this call that can get you closer to a sale, but my primary purpose is to sell a product. I go in believing I'm going to sell a product. I also have these secondary purposes so that I'm never disappointed. Know the cold call. It's deep. It's big. You got to wrap your head around it. You got to stay sold on it, and you got to get rid of anybody in your organization, any manager, any owner, anybody that tells you cold calling is dead. I would love to compare my net worth to their net worth to prove to you it's not.